Hey, good Thursday evening, everybody. Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich here at WCNC. Thank you for joining us for Live Weather Impact. It is Thursday, January 29th, 2026. I always like to put the date out there because we want to get you on par for when things are going to happen. We've got another winter storm, and unlike this past weekend, it's a completely different storm. All storms are different. This is going to be completely different as well. The only thing that's the same, it's a winter storm. Last weekend, we had ice, sleet. It was a mess. We had power line issues. We had mixed precipitation. We were debating about how much sleet versus freezing rain. Thank goodness we didn't get crippling ice, but we had almost to that threshold, 0.3 of an inch, and we got an inch of sleet, which many of you are still slipping and sliding on right now because sleet does not melt. It is solid ice, so it takes a long time. This weekend storm, completely different. It's a pure snowstorm. So kind of what most people I think that are snow lovers are rooting for is a pure snow. But even for us, this is a unique storm. It's going to be all snow and powdery snow. So a lot of things, I mean, there's just so many things that are new and different about this storm compared to normal. And one of them, we're going to start with this map, is going to be one of them. Every county in both Carolinas, North and South Carolina, I joked on the air because I get questions about my house here and there. I said, if your address has an NC or SC at the end of it, that you're under a watch or warning right now. That's rare, from the counties in the mountains to the counties to the beach. So Myrtle Beach, Charleston, Wilmington, Ocean Isle, the Outer Banks, they're under winter storm watches. You just don't see that very often. And that'll show you the scope of the system. Now, not everybody's going to get the same impacts because the criteria for a winter storm for us is 3 inches of snow or a mix. For areas in the mountains, it's 4 to 5 inches. For areas south of Columbia to Charleston, it's only an inch. So if you go to the beach, it only takes an inch to get a winter storm warning. So it really depends on your location. But we can see our storm. It's part of this piece of the polar vortex, which is going to stay up in Canada, but a little breaking off of an upper low is going to come down. It's right there, about to cross over Winnipeg, and it's going to head into the arrowhead of Minnesota. And we'll probably start to see what type of energy it has, because it'll start getting sampled by some of the upper air balloons tonight, the weather balloons that get launched in the upper Midwest and even parts of Canada. You can see the air up there is brutally cold. All those aqua kind of bluish shades, that's below 0 Fahrenheit, so super cold air. The one thing that's kind of not on our checklist, we have moisture, don't get me wrong. We don't need a lot of moisture because of the dry snow we're expecting, the snowfall ratios, which we'll talk about again tonight. But there's pockets of dry air which could reduce the total. So while I think everybody is going to get snow, I think it's just a matter of how much. There will be big winners and losers for snowfall, just like we have with scattered showers and storms in the summer. Some people get absolutely soaked. We've got localized flash flooding sometimes in the summer. In other areas, not a drop. Now, I don't think we'll see not a flake, but some areas could have really light snow and other places could get absolutely clobbered because of the banding features we're going to see, which are going to produce 2-3 inches of snow per hour in some cases. So it may not take long for some of the snow to pile up, but boy, is this cold air. You know, we talk about cold air at the ground, but this is cold air all the way to the top of the troposphere, all the way up to the stratosphere, because this is a little chunk of upper air energy that came off the polar vortex, which is actually up in the stratosphere. So this is a really cold patch of air coming down, not at the surface, but aloft. And it's going to create wind. It's going to create cold conditions. And boy, we got to watch this little lobe right there going into next. I don't want to talk about that right now. But I don't want to say storm number 3 yet, but the signal and the pattern, that is something to seriously watch. So as far as impacts, let's focus on that first. Snow, high impacts, travel, high impacts. Outages, I don't want to say 0, but it's low because the snow is not going to cause outages. It would be the wind. So think of a windstorm. And so we could see scattered power outages, but they wouldn't be because of the snow. It's not like last weekend the ice was going to cause widespread outages if it accumulated enough. So the timing, I know you're seeing a lot of, the Weather Service put out their watch and they said Friday evening. I think that was kind of designed for the far western part of the state near the mountains. For us, it's after midnight or 2 o'clock in the morning Saturday. So Friday's fine. You can get all your activities done. But all day Saturday, the winds pick up, the hazardous travel. I'm going to say blowing and drifting snow. Good luck measuring this. I think it's going to be hard enough to figure out the totals, but I don't think people are going to be able to measure this because it's going to be blowing all over the place, and you're going to have drifts and then bare spots because the wind's blowing it. That makes it incredibly hard to measure. So Futurecast, we'll go hour by hour here. Notice Friday we're okay. I don't think those flurries are going to hit the ground because it's so dry. you'll see closer to like midnight, 2 a.m., we start to see snow develop. And notice the temperatures too. The temperatures are key here. And look how cold it is, upper teens, low 20s. So this snow, while it doesn't look heavy until about right there, it's going to be really fluffy snow that'll pile up quickly. So you only need an hour or two, and you might coat the ground completely. Think of this as like snow squalls, a lot of wind, a lot of blowing snow, 19, 18 degrees. The great thing about this snow, it's easy to clean up. You can use a leaf blower, a broom. You can get it off the roads quickly. The problem is it blows off the roads, but it also blows back onto the roads just as easily. So, it's going to be drifting. Up north, we have snow fences on the side of the road that help keep snow from drifting on the road. It stops it and creates like a break. Have you ever been to the beach and you see those dune fences that help trap the sand to make the dunes? Same premise here, but with snow, it's drifting all over. You can get big piles of it. Through 6 o'clock, we still got some pockets of heavy snow. So you see everybody gets something. By 10 o'clock, it starts to move out, and then you could see the total. So the boomer bust forecast, we love kind of showing our forecast right now is 3 to 6. I kind of went up a hair. I didn't want to. I was like in the 2 to 5, but I talked myself into 3 to 6. But ironically, I probably could have gone 2 to 6 and been happy. But that kind of shows you the variability of this. But there's a boom potential. Somebody under one of the heavier bands could get 6 to 8. Somebody could bust and get 1 to 2. So just know that that's kind of in the cards. And so when you see the map, just take into account, just like rainfall, there's not a consistent uniform rainfall pattern. There is definitely not for snow. So 3 to 6, a lot of people are going to be closer to that 3, and only an isolated few will be near 6. 6 to 8, and then isolated 10 inches to the east. That could be low for those areas, believe it or not. And so for this reason, the snow meter, this might be the highest I've had it since 2018, I believe, is at a 7, because I'm very confident in snow, and I'm very confident of impacts on our daily lives, which means travel issues, obviously, which we'll get into a ton here in a minute with Tim. But real quickly, I just want to show you the 7-day forecast, because on top of this, sometime Friday night, we drop below freezing, probably 11 o'clock. We're not going to get back above freezing until probably Monday afternoon. So this is going to be a long duration cold snap that could break pipes. So there could be other issues besides snow. Everyone gets caught up in the snow, but trust me, there are plenty impacts to go around. Tim and I will talk about this coming up. We've got an extended show at 7, talking to our fellow chief meteorologist, Tim Pangeas, up in Norfolk. He's going to talk to us about the impacts out there where they could have a blizzard. So we'll talk to him and Tim, but first we'll talk to Tim coming up in 2 minutes.